Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the revision of the chapter Materials, Metals and Non-Metals. In this chapter we are going to learn about the metals and non-metals, how they occur in nature. Then we are going to see about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Then chemical properties of metals and non-metals. We are going to see about the displacement reaction, the use and different uses of metals and non-metals, along with the corrosion of metal and how we can prevent it from the corrosion. Before we could start for this lesson, we are going to see all the substance on the earth are composed of some basic constituent, means whatever we could see, whether a living and a non-living thing on the earth is made up of substance, and these substances are made up of constituents. These constituents are known as elements. So these constituent which a substance is being formed, we call it as element. The smallest particle of an element are identical and of same type, and these particles are called as atoms. Means elements are made up of atoms. Substance are made up of elements. Elements are made up of atom. Means atom together will form element and elements together form substance. Atom is the smallest particle of an element and it cannot be further broken down without altering its property. Means if we want to break down the atom, then we have to alter its property. Without altering its property, we can't able to do anything with this atom. When you are coming to higher classes like post graduation, graduation, there you will be able to study about these atoms, which we are going to go to the smallest size, that is called as about nanoparticles. Nanoparticles, whatever element at the its own original state, what properties it is having it, when it comes to a nanoparticles, its properties are going to totally change. So this you can be going to study in the higher classes. So this is all about the introduction for your lesson. Atoms of same kinds are found in elements form. When two or more elements combined chemically, they will form a compound. Means atoms will be formed of elements, and these elements will be combining chemically and they will be forming a compound. And compound consists of atoms of different elements. Means each compound is not going to have one element, it's going to have two or three elements mixed with it in the form. These atoms join together in a specific manner and in a small number to form molecules. So when you are coming to class 9, you will be going to study about the periodic table. In the periodic table, we are going to study about all the elements. There are near about 118 elements have been discovered till now. And these elements, some elements will be existing in free state as if there, and some will be in the combined state. And these free state elements are like carbon, sulfur, gold, silver and platinum. They are all exist in the free state. Some elements will be metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. So we are going to see about the occurrence of these metals, how these metals will be occurrence of metals and non-metals. So here we are having near about, as you can see, out of, I told 118 elements till now we have discovered. In that one, out of 92 naturally occurring elements, 70 are metals and 22 are non-metal. Some metal shows properties of both metals as well as non-metals, and the metal element which shows the properties of both metals as well as non-metal, we call it as metalloids. So these elements which are found in nature will be basically classified into three groups, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metalloids are the one which will be showing both the properties. So occurrence of metals for us in nature, most of the metals occur in combined state with some impurities. They are known as minerals. Means the whatever elements which we will be getting it in the combined state which having some impurities, we call it as minerals. Then the mineral form which element can be extracted profitably and easily is called as ore. Means from the rock metallic minerals, if we can able to extract a more number profitable element and easily we can able to do, we call it as ore. So now here we will be having some metals like gold, silver, platinum, etc. are found in the free state. Most metals are found in the combined state as oxides, sulfides, carbonates, silicates, etc. Like iron we will be getting in the form of minerals named as hematite, magnetite, siderite, iron pyrites. These all are the minerals of iron. Then aluminium we can get it as bauxite, cryolite. Copper we can get as cuprite, copper pyrites, copper glands are the minerals from which we can extract copper. Then calcium we can extract from limestone, gypsum. These are the minerals of calcium for us. Then silver, honor silver, silver glands are the minerals from which we will be extracting the silver. Some non-metals are found in the free state, that is like helium, neon, argon, etc. And some are found in the form of combined state like sulfurs and phosphorus, etc. So now when we are coming to about the metallurgy of elements, metallurgy is a science of extraction of metals from their ores and their purification. Means if we are extracting an metal from its ore and purifying that metal, that science we call it as metallurgy. Minerals are the naturally occurring substance containing one or more elements of their compound, and ores is a mineral form from one or more element can be extracted profitably, we call it as ore. Metallurgical process, how we can able to extract, it consists of three main steps, that is concentration of ore, reduction and refinery. In concentration of ore, it is the removal of impurities from the ore. At this stage we will be removing all the impurities which are present in this ore. Then in reduction, the process of obtaining a metal from its compound. By reduction reaction we will be doing it. Refining it, it is process of purification of impure metal to obtain a pure metal. So these are the process through which we will be extracting the elements from the ore. Now before we could go for the properties of metals and non-metals, occurrence of non-metals like hydrogen is a non-metal. Most of the non-metals occur in a combined state or free state. They are either form of compounds with a metal or non-metal or occur in free states. Some commonly occurring non-metals are hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most common element in the whole universe. It is the chief component of sun and other stars. 70% of earth consists of water, in which hydrogen is present in a combined state with oxygen. So in petrochemical products like natural gas, as we have studied in coal and petroleum, natural gas, coal, hydrogen occurs in a combined state as hydrocarbons. Example for us, it is methane. Methane will be having a formula as CH4, means carbon, one carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms we will be having it. In plants and animals also, hydrogen occurs in the form of carbohydrates. Like we have studied the glucose formula C6H12O6. So 6 molecules of carbon, 12 molecules of hydrogen and 6 molecules of oxygen we will be having it. Then nitrogen is there, which we all know that 78% of total air is consists of nitrogen for us. Then oxygen, we know that it is 21% of a volume of air we are having oxygen on the earth. Carbon is near about 60 to 70%, which will be in the form of pure coal containing. Diamonds is there, graphites are there, which will be containing it. Sulfur will be there in the free state in the form of volcanoes, and even occurs in a combined states in the metal like sulfates and sulfides. It also occurs in the form of hydrogen sulfide as a gas. A pungent smell, sometimes we can able to smell near the gutters and all. Silicon, this is the second most abundant element, non-metal, which is there on the earth crust. It will occur in the form of silica and silicates. Silica means sand. Now we are coming to the properties of metals and non-metals. So first, in the physical properties of metals and non-metals, metals are solid, non-metals are solid, liquid and gas. Means metals we will be getting it only in solid form, non-metals we will be getting it in all the three states, that is solid, liquid as well as gases. Here exceptional case for metals is mercury, which is in the form of liquid. Mercury and gadolinium are the two metals are exception which occur in a liquid state at room temperature. At room temperature, mercury and gadolinium occur in liquid state and all other rest are in solid state. Example like sodium, aluminium, potassium, magnesium, these all are the examples of metals. Then non-metals will be existing it in both solid, liquid as well as gaseous state at room temperature, like carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, iodine are in solid state. Bromine is a liquid in state, exceptional case, bromine is in liquid state. And oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine are in gaseous state at room temperature. So these are the examples of non-metals which are in solid, liquid as well as gaseous state. In solid state we will be having carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, iodine, and bromine is in liquid state, while oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine are in gaseous state. Then when we are coming to the second point, metals are hard except sodium and potassium. All metals are hard but except sodium. Sodium we can cut with the help of a knife also. Though it is a metal, it is a soft metal. Non-metals are solid and they are brittle in nature. Means the moment we break down, it is going to break easily. But exceptional case here is about diamond. Diamond is a non-metal and it is a hardest metal. Metals have luster, non-metals do not have luster. Means metals have a quality of reflecting light from their surface and they can be polished. Like example, gold, silver, copper, all will be able to do these things. Non-metals will not, they are brittle in nature, they will be having dull in appearance. Like example, sulfur, phosphorus, carbon will be like coal. If you take coal and if you throw, it is going to break easily for us. Only exceptional case is for diamond and iodine. These are the one which will be shining. Diamond is also shining and iodine is also shining element will be there. Then coming to the next point, metals have high melting point and boiling point. All the metals will be having high melting point and boiling point. Non-metals have low melting point and boiling point. Metals are malleable in nature and can be made into thin sheets. Non-metals are non-malleable. Means metals are malleable because of which they can be rolled into sheets. For example, aluminium foil, the best example. Copper we can able to have, zinc can be there beaten into sheet. Sodium and potassium are exceptional case which cannot be beaten into thin sheet because they are very soft. And non-metals are non-malleable. As solid they are brittle, they break or shattered on hammering. For example, coal, sulfur, phosphorus are brittle in nature. Then coming to the next point, that is metals are ductile in nature, can be made into thin sheets. So metals can able to draw into wire. For example, 200-meter long wire can be drawn from 10 grams of gold. If you are taking a 10 gram of gold, we can able to draw a wire of near about 200 meter. But sodium, potassium are soft metal, while mercury and gadolinium occur in liquid state, so they do not possess ductility. Means sodium and potassium are soft metal, so they can't able to drawn into thin sheet, as well as mercury and gadolinium are in liquid state, so we can't able to show this property of ductility. Non-metals cannot be drawn into thin wires. The next point is metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. So here except case is graphite, because graphite we will be using it for the purpose of heat as well as electricity, because it conducts heat as well as electricity. Graphite will be doing it. Exceptional case for metals is about bismuth, which do not conduct heat well, and so they are poor conductor of heat. Lead and bismuth are the two metals which are bad conductor of heat and electricity. Then coming to the next point, that is about metals are sonorous. They produce sound. Non-metals are non-sonorous in nature. So here metals will be having ringing sound. They will be having the property of ringing sound. They will not be having the property of ringing sound. There are some other elements which we can able to see about the metals and non-metals is about tensile strength. Most of the metals have high tensile strength. For example, iron. Some alloys having high tensile strength. However, elements like sodium, potassium and mercury do not possess the tensile strength. Tensile strength means a measure of the ability of a material to resist the force and try to pull it apart is called as tensile strength. Means holding it long wire, ability to resist the force, means how much force if we are able to apply, if is holding it, we call it as tensile strength. Non-metals do not have tensile strength. Okay, today for this class we will stop here. Then tomorrow we were going to start with the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thank you. Stay home. Stay safe.